I'd never met anybody who ever told me about anything personally knowing God or anything supernatural other than historically what I knew from stories from the Bible. I just never knew about the need to really come into a relationship with the Lord through Jesus. And I was busy getting it on. And he slapped me. He says, "That's it. We're going down." So we just pitched forward, and we plummeted straight down at over 100 miles an hour. The plane went up in flames, and as he was running away, he heard screaming and realized I was trapped inside along with the pilot. And this brave man who was my friend, and went back in the plane and saw me trying to escape where the wing had been torn loose from the airplane. But I was stuck, and but something on my equipment or my clothing was caught. They rushed me off to the hospital and saw that I sustained very serious injuries. They told me I was going to die. They told my sister to come that day because I was not going to be there in the afternoon. I had an experience I had never heard about. Never heard anything like this. Suddenly, my inner man, the real me, my spirit, sat up out of my body, and I could feel my legs go through the springs of the bed. Came out of my body as if you would take a glove off your hand. And instantly, I was in a spiritual world. Instantaneously, I knew this was the real world. I mean, I was transferred immediately into a spiritual dimension. And everything about the spirit world is more real than this world. The colors are brighter, the edges of everything are sharper, the emotions are just enhanced, they are clear. And instantaneously, the thing that really struck me the most was there was a complete absence of the awareness of time. Everything in this plane, in the physical plane, in the natural plane, is relative to time. But everything in the spiritual plane is relative to eternity. So what is stunning to be conscious and to know what eternity is. Also, logic and reasoning doesn't happen there. It's like you just know that you know that you know. It's like having a revelation constantly. And it was incredible. But then simultaneous to that, on my right side, I could feel something, and I looked, and there was this blackness sweeping. Now this blackness, as I looked at it, instantly I was aware of its complete nature. It was eternal, like I was experiencing eternity. It was without any matter. It was without any life. It was void, and it was forever, non-negotiable, cut off from the source of all life. Now, I used to never be able to stand to be near anybody who could say go to hell after that. Because you wouldn't want the worst person. You wouldn't want Adolf Hitler, bin Laden, Saddam. You wouldn't want any human being to ever go in there. It was so horrible. And as that was sweeping, it got down to, it was eclipsing this light. So there was just it was like you're in a room, and you close the door, a dark room, and there's a little space between the door and the door jamb. It wasn't a doorway. It was really, this was a real place that I was seeing and that I was feeling. And as it was closing, it was eclipsing. And now I'm standing on the very edge, the precipice of eternal separation. And I scream out of my spirit, "I'm sorry, I want to live. Give me another chance." And just before that was to close, I was standing in the presence of Almighty God. Whoa. And instantly I knew I would never die for eternity. This was the max. So I was so filled with just the love and all of God's majesty, all of His authority, all of His love, everything was just flowing through me. I was like vibrating like a tuning fork. For years I wondered, what was that blackness and why did it sweep down to where it was just a sliver, like about a half-inch of white light? And years later, God revealed it to me. It was really a historical record of my life. That for all the years that I had lived, I was in darkness. And God gave me a space to cry out to Him. And in that space, it changed my future, my destiny, my whole purpose. God loved me the whole time. God was with me. But, please don't wait until you're that desperate. We're desperate right now, and He's with you, and you have a chance today to cry out to God. It's not complicated. It's not religious. I mean, certainly my prayer wasn't all that complicated, and it wasn't about religion. It was about I needed life, and there is no one of us before God that doesn't need the whole life that He has to offer. It's usually fear that keeps us from doing that, or like we're afraid, well, I'm not good enough. That's the whole deal. We need God.